It's no secret that college football is back, and each week seems to bring us thrilling games. One of the more thrilling college football games from the first week of the season saw Duke upset then number 9 Clemson. But in the aftermath of the victory, winning quarterback Riley Leonard realized he missed the deadline to turn in his homework, so he made this request of his professor, Donald Taylor.
Professor Taylor, if you're seeing this, please let me turn in my homework late because it's due tonight, I think at 12, so it may already be 12.
Hey, Riley, great game last night, man. It was so exciting. Congratulations to you and all your teammates. But you know, Wesley Williams and the other linemen who were in the class, they said they prepared ahead and did it ahead of time, so why didn't the quarterback? So no way, man. No extension.
You know, he took a shot there and it didn't work on him. In retirement planning, there are also deadlines for things like contributing to accounts, taking those required minimum distributions, or filing for Social Security at the right age. How do you help clients prepare for these so their retirement doesn't go into overtime?
Yeah, we talked recently at some of our workshops about this a lot. In fact, when you look at like Medicare and Social Security, there are important deadlines to follow, and you don't want to miss these retirement deadlines. When you go over them and you look at different deadlines that are out there, the first thing I think about is deadlines that happen every year. So these are ones that strike 12/31. You have to get some things done. And, now that fall is here, the clock is kind of ticking as well. And, the challenge is in football, maybe you get an overtime, but in life with your finances, a lot of these areas, they don't result in overtime. In fact, they result in penalties. Mm-hmm. Or missed opportunities. So when we think about things on a yearly basis, we think about things like contributions, the amount of money you can put into your 401k or IRA, and what are the steps you can take to kind of increase the amount that you have in your contributions. Another one is conversion. So for some folks, it makes sense to proactively take and address maybe paying some taxes now versus waiting till later. In the previous segment, I talked a little bit about a gentleman who called from the radio on Bill. And in Bill's situation, he had the ability where he could take and he can convert money over each year into a Roth IRA and potentially still stay at a zero or very low tax bracket. And that way, if taxes went up in the future and or all the profit that he made, he had the potential to have some tax-free dollars for him and his family. But going back, looking at the past, he probably could have been doing this for the last several years since he retired. And that's a missed opportunity. So he can't go back in time with those conversion opportunities. Yeah. Required minimum distributions. You want to talk about one of the biggest penalties that is out there that can be, assessed by the IRS. It's failure to meet a required minimum distribution. And this has been a moving target. It used to be 70 and a half, and then they switched it. Now it's 73. It's gradually going up to 75. So it's not surprising that a retiree can be confused, when and what is the right amount to take out for required minimum distributions. And then also by the end of the year, you have to take a look at your taxable accounts and run some of those gain-loss reports. You have to figure out, how much capital gains have been paid out. Should you maybe sell off some of your losers to offset those gains? Is there a way to get a deduction? So when I think about it, Chaz, I think, again, there's two categories. It's what to do every year. Mm-hmm. And then secondarily, I think there's a topic when it comes down to ages also.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just looking through some of the content that we have prepared today, and there's 8 different ages that retirees between the age of 50 to, let's call it 73 now, that they have to be aware of. And it's a lot. I mean, that's just for your retirement. Now, we haven't even talked about Medicare or, healthcare decisions. And so, you hit on all the big ones. Age 50, don't forget that at age 50, you can make up a catch-up contribution. So your catch-up contributions allow you to save more money in your 401k. So you definitely don't want to miss that. Pretty sure you talked about age 55, where you're able to actually avoid paying that 10% penalty if you're separated from service. You don't have to even, be at 62 or some of these other the 60-year-old ages that are important for Social Security. But yeah, I mean, it's important to avoid making these retirement deadline mistakes and missing these dates. And I think a couple things, you mentioned them, Nolan. One is just planning ahead. So marking your calendar maybe even, or marking your cell phone calendar with some important dates that maybe when your RMDs come up, maybe if that's 4 or 5 years into the future, still put it on your calendar. Getting enrolled in socialsecurity.gov, and making sure that you're up to date on all of your benefits and what the benefits are for waiting in some of these cases. Also, one of the things that I typically like to do for clients over the age of 70, 73 now, but in the past, we would set up automatic withdrawals or automatic distributions, or maybe automatic rollover contributions or conversions from a retirement account, so you don't have to worry about missing them, and so that your required minimum distribution is automatically going to come out on the same time every year. Reviewing your retirement statements and regularly scheduling your 6-month annual review, which we do a great job here of, just like at the dentist office. You're going to have your second appointment set up for the year once you leave here. So that way it doesn't go years and we don't miss anything for a long time that causes more errors and more penalties. And then just getting advice from a financial planner, tax advisors, retirement specialist to kind of help you understand some of the rules and regulations, because like you said, they change. We were just talking about on a few shows ago about the catch-up contribution having to go into Roth accounts in 401ks, and that deadline being end of the year. Now that's been pushed back for another 3 years, I read now. So it just, I was talking to my dad about it. He runs a 401k, and I'm like, Dad, you got a little bit of time now. We can stave off a little bit, but he's running around pulling his hair out, trying to figure out what to do by the end of the year. And I'm like, Dad, it's okay. You've got some time. So just staying in touch with an advisor and planning ahead, I think, are two of the biggest things you can do.
Yeah, lots of different time frames to pay attention to. And again, failure to follow some of these rules out there and missing some of these deadlines can create lifetime penalties. So you've got, missed opportunities for catch-up contributions at age 50, 55, 401k opportunities. 59 and a half, you have the ability for in-service withdrawals from a 401k. No longer penalties for withdrawals from IRAs, annuities, and life insurance. Age 62 to 70, when to draw Social Security. And if you take Social Security early, you could get lifetime reduction of your benefits. 65 is Medicare, and you get lifetime penalties if you don't sign up for Medicare at the correct time. And as you point out, age 73 is required minimum distribution. So It absolutely can be confusing, and that's where having a retirement coach kind of help walk you through it. Make sure that you don't get penalized and don't miss these deadlines.
Because in the case of, asking for amnesty, you may find the government, especially when it comes to taxation and penalties like that, maybe more like Professor Taylor, where they say, sorry, can't do anything about it. I know we threw a lot of numbers and ages out there at you. Here's one to keep in mind, 419-794-3030. That's how you get in touch with the team at America's Retirement Headquarters. They can let you know what you need to be doing at what point for your particular circumstances. Again, 419-794-3030. You can also go to the website, arhq.com.